welcome back to the podcast, New Birth Fitness Family. My name is Shiloh Bryant, and this is my wife.
Danny.
Today we have on a special guest. Would you like to introduce our guest?
Sure. It's like a little reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Yolanda, and we would love for you guys to hear a little bit about her story and some of the things that she is going through, has gone through, and some of her motherhood journey.
Yep.
So
It's been a journey. I've seen her make a lot of progress. I've seen the trials, tribulations. We've been through a lot together, so tell them a little bit about you. But just when we say, who is Yolanda, what comes to mind?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Up until this year, I probably did know who Yolanda was. Well, I thought I knew who she was, but this has been one of the most trying years. So now I've actually found out that I was not being me. So I wasn't being true to myself and who I was, because I always put everybody before me. And this year, with everything that I have experienced, hence my new hair color, it's about me. It's about putting me first. It's about putting what I want first. And I'm still the same loving, caring, affectionate person, but Yolanda is a priority now.
Okay.
That's awesome to hear.
Let's go backwards to go forward. When you were first looking for a trainer, like what made you initially take that leap to say, I'm going to get a personal trainer? And what was your thoughts when you reflecting back on our initial conversation?
Well, I'm the type of person that I think that I can read something or watch something and be able to do it myself, which in all aspects I really can, but sometimes you need a motivation and you need a push. And when I sought out my trainer here, I had a whole bunch of questions for him, because I'm looking at this dude, I'm like, I don't know. But it was more of a mental journey and a mental process for me, not just actually being able to do the work, even though I thought I could squat, but I couldn't.
Look, I remember the first time with Yolanda, and just on the first call, I was like, I've never had a potential client ask me this many questions. I swear it was like an interrogation.
Wow.
But I was okay with it because I have nothing to hide. I'm like, yeah, answering this. I think she even asked me, like, why should I go with you versus this person over here? I'm like, you don't have to. You can go with that person. Because I'm very much a person, like, I'm not going to force you one way or another. And we formed this bond, and just seeing her from the beginning, like when she mentioned her squats, I was like, Yolanda, that is not squats, that is knee bends. Right? So seeing your journey. Okay, so when we first start, right, what I noticed about Yolanda is she had a lot of, I can't do this. That's not possible. I know my body. And I've seen this trend against a lot of clients in the beginning. What did you notice that transition when you started saying, wait, maybe I actually can do this? That belief, like, what was that process like for you?
Well, it just made me realize that I can probably do whatever I set my mind to if I just quit doubting myself. I guess a lot of things is based on how you grow up, how you brought up, and not learning how to change your mental, because that plays a lot in everything that you can do.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, in the beginning, I'm always big on mindset. Like, a firm believer that if you change your mind, the body has no choice but to follow after that. Because if you're just trying, like you said, you learn all the different exercises, right? And you're like, well, I can just do that. Or are you going to stick to them?
Just to touch a little bit on that, I remember when I was seeking out a personal trainer, and I was doing it more because I wanted to change my physical appearance, you made it very clear that you would help me with the physical appearance side of it, but that the mental side was more important to you.
Yep.
Because if you didn't fix the mental, you couldn't fix the other aspects either. So I thought, and you warned me that you were going to be pushing me. So I think that all of us that have worked with him have felt either that physical push, but it's more of a mental realization that you get to.
It unlocks everything else. And I don't know, you guys can speak for yourselves. Did you notice other aspects of your life outside of the gym changing based on the things you were learning in the gym, or did it stick to just the gym as far as the things you were learning, you felt?
It works in all aspects when you change your mindset, because you realize that you're not just in this little box anymore, that there's a whole big world out there.
Same thing.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Let's talk about your health journey, right?
Jesus.
So I guess before we even go there, so when you first started, you remember what your original weight was when you first started in the gym and how much you lost overall? You remember
When
that?
I first started, I think I weighed about 225, and I got down to 175. but that was when I was doing more cardio. I was
Mm-hmm.
focused on being able to run a mile in a minute,
Yep.
in a minute, in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started weight training, and I think I ended up at like 189.
Mm-hmm. Put on some muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she looked better with the extra muscle put on than just losing the weight. And that's something a lot of people neglect. Think I'm just going to do cardio, 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 and you lose all this weight. And ideally, the body that you thought you were going to have and how it was going to look from just doing the cardio isn't the same as what you imagined in the beginning because you're not tightening up anything during the process too. So now, so you lost this weight. Now talk about some of the health battles you encountered through the process.
Before or now?
Let's do before us. We're gonna work our way. Yeah, we can work our way up. So let's go before. Let's go during that time, health battles that you went, and then go from there.
Okay. Originally when I decided that I really wanted a trainer, I was focused on being healthier because I have dealt with diabetes for the majority of my life. I was diagnosed as a child, and my goal was to actually get off all medications. And so somebody bet me that I couldn't be vegetarian, and I did it, and that helped me lose weight too. But I didn't. I lasted a year with that. But and I was off all my medications. But then I couldn't stick to that because I craved meat. So then my focus was, okay, let's just see what exercise I'm doing, working out. And part of, working out with Shy was, you got to eat this and you got to eat like this and let's eat this. And protein is a big thing, but I don't like to eat regularly, consistently. And that's a big part. So my health went up and down between diabetes, high blood pressure. And then as the years progressed, I ended up with kidney disease. And within the last year, it just went rapidly. So I went from like a stage 4 to stage 5 to end stage renal disease. Now, this year, as I said earlier, this year was a trying year because I lost my mother in February and I went into a depression state. Nobody knew that I was depressed. I pretty much had quit eating. And then I got the big news that my kidneys were no longer functioning. Their functioning level was like at a stage 4. And technically, if you're that low, you should be on somebody's deathbed. That's how you're supposed to look. That's how you're supposed to feel. But when I went into the hospital, nobody knew by looking at me that my kidneys were failing. But they did come in and tell me, hey, we're going to have to start dialysis. And that was just a big thing for me because I was by myself. I didn't have nobody to talk to, but I knew that it was something that was going to, keep me living. And I made a decision to do peritoneal dialysis, which means I have a tube in my stomach. Her name is Francine. So y'all can say hey to Francine. At the end, I may show you Francine. But anyway, so I have a tube in my stomach and I do dialysis every night. I have to do 9 hours and it's not really bad. It's not. On peritoneal dialysis, I pretty much can eat whatever I want to eat and I don't have to really worry about it. Just no grapefruit. However, getting back, I had told Danny, I was like, hey, I want to get back in the gym. I want to start back working out. I can't lift, but there are other things that I can do because I want to be as healthy as I possibly can. Because when I get my kidney, I want to make sure that it's an easy transition. The healthier you are, the better the surgery is going to be, the less wait time your kidneys will start working and be almost immediately. And that's what my goal is. I do a lot of posting on my social media, talking to other people that are dealing with dialysis, and a lot of people have inboxed me because they're stressed, they're depressed, they feel like nobody understands, they feel like it's too hard, they feel like that you'll never be able to do or live a normal life again. And that's true. With peritoneal dialysis, there are a lot of things that I would never be able to do again. I would never be able to take a bath. I would never be able to get in a pool. I would never be able to get in a hot tub. Would never be able to lift over 20 pounds. And I didn't realize how big those things were to me until I'm told, hey, you can't do this. I would never be able to sleep on my stomach.
Mm.
Never realize how big that is until you're actually told, hey, you can't do this. But in the end, I still look at it as, you know what? It's okay. I can sleep on my side. I can do this. I can, still travel. I can do whatever, within reason, but I'm still alive.
Mm.
This is what's saving me. This is what's keeping me going. Hence
I want to
me.
touch on that real quick. That is big what you just said there. you're looking at all the wrong things. Like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And when you only focus on those things, it probably makes you feel a lot worse. But then you started being grateful for the things you do have. You switch the focus from all the bad to the good things. Like, wait, I'm still alive. Wait, I can still travel. And you probably notice a big difference in how you felt mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. But you can keep elaborating. If there's anything else that I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then a lot of things that I've learned on my journey with being on dialysis is that I was overlooking so many things. Even when I first started with Shy, I'm just thinking, oh, I never called myself fat. I was just like always fluffy. I'm like, I'm just fluffy, and I started losing weight. But now I look back on over the years, I'm like, hey, my face has always been puffy, but that was a part of my kidneys not working properly. I'm looking at like, hey, my shoe size. I'm like, my shoes have always been kind of tight. I just thought it was because I was fluffy. But now I realize no, it was because my kidneys were not working properly and I've always been kind of swollen. And that was a big thing because like the shoes I got on now, they used to fit really, really tight and now they're like 2 sizes too big.
Wow.
And that was all about, my kidneys not working, not filtering properly. My vision. Yes, I still need my glasses, but I can see a whole lot better without my glasses than I could before. And that played a part with my kidneys. And I start thinking about stuff like that. I was like, wow, you never really know if you're not really, focused on it or if you're not going to the doctor asking questions.
And would you say these are some of the symptoms for people to look out for?
Those are some of them, but definitely you have to ask questions and you definitely have to advocate for yourself because 9 times out of 10, if you go to the doctor and it's more with people of color and, that's my color, her color, and his color, So, but if they tell you that, oh, you're diabetic or you have high blood pressure or your kidneys or this, and this, they're so ready to give you a medication. They never focus on, hey, if you start doing this, and this, and you change your diet, you change the way you eat, you start working out, that I'm not going to say that you can stop it, but you can definitely prolong it and you may not end up. That's what I tell my doctor. And that's what has also helped me because I don't know if you know as much, but I know he knows that I used to juice and always, trying something different. That's what helped me. That's what helped me go as long as I did without actually going on dialysis. And that's what's keeping me right now because I'm like, Yolanda, I believe, and this is me, this is Dr. Blacknail here. I believe that, I could do this and I can potentially get off dialysis or at least not have to do it every single night. And that's a big thing for me too.
No, that's huge.
Yeah.
Just the fact you believe that's going to make you do different things that other people that said, well, there's no way I can get off of it. They're only going to stick to exactly what the doctor said and nothing outside of that. So that's exactly what you get. And I love what you mentioned too, like how a doctor might immediately go to medication. Like even when it comes to surgeries, where sometimes people hurt things and a doctor might immediately advocate for surgery. And there's a lot of other studies and a lot of other experiences of other people. It's like, wait, if they would have did some kind of rehabilitation or they would have started some movement or they would have started like light body weight exercises, they actually could have got back all their function instead of just doing the surgery. But that's the fastest thing that the doctor could say versus a person that if you actually went through the journey and through the process of how much better you feel. Like there's people get in a car accident, something happens to their legs. What's the first thing outside of surgery that happens? They take you to PT. And what are you doing? Stretching your legs, getting you to move your legs. And the next thing you know, you get all of your functionality back versus if you get a surgery, a lot of times people don't get back their mobility. It's just gone. So it just depends on the situation. So, what's some advice you would give to somebody that is on dialysis? Like, what's some things that come to mind to help them out through that situation?
To always be proactive and advocate for yourself. That's the biggest thing. I have a couple of friends and they're always telling me, they're like, Yolanda, I don't know how you do it. You get on social media and you're doing a treatment, you show Francine. And I was like, well, Francine is a part of my life right now. Dylan, which is my cycler, he's a part of my life right now. So this is my life. And I get up there and I show people because if you don't advocate for yourself, how will anybody else know what you need or what it is that you want? People find it hard to talk about being on dialysis. And to me, I don't really understand why, because it's no different than somebody that has cancer or somebody that has any other chronic illness that they talk about. True, it's not talked about as much, but for me, it's about letting people know, hey, I need a kidney. But if you don't want to give me one, guess what? There are thousands of other people out there that need kidneys. There are children that need kidneys. There are children that have had kidney transplants. And that's important to me. And it's important for people to understand that you are your biggest advocate. I have shirts made. I have signs made. I have cards made. And everybody always tell me, Yolanda, how? Because Yolanda wants to live. There are so many things that Yolanda wants. And it's not even about like my children or my grandchildren. It's about what I want. I finally have a chance to live. And I know may sound horrible to some people, but at first I took my mom passing as like, that was the biggest thing that hurt me. I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to go. But then I'm like, your mom probably would want you to live. So Yolanda wants to live. And in order for me to live, I have to come to terms with being on dialysis. I have to learn that I have to tell people, hey, I can't do this because, I have this going on. If I don't tell them, they will never know. And then I can put myself in jeopardy. So the same thing, whether you're on hemodialysis or whether you're on PD dialysis, you have to learn to let people know.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things that came to mind this morning before doing the interview was how much of a different woman you are today than the woman that we've seen in the past, or even, through all the trials. And I remember going through, different things with you and how you were telling me, about your mom's death, about your son going away to the Marines, and, you just explaining or just checking in on you like, hey, how's it going? Where are you in the process? And being open to having people that are there for you with everything going on, because I know that you're a person that sticks more to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, with Yolanda, sometimes we randomly think about each other. And this is kind of the friendship that we've had where we're like, well, I know that she has this going on. You know that I have this going on. So what would you say is one of the things that's important when it comes to having people to support you?
Realizing and knowing that if they really are your friends, no matter what happens or what go through, they're going to give you the space and the opportunity to acknowledge them or talk to them or come back at your convenience when it's right for you. So that took a lot from me, with both of them, with Shaw and Danny, because I've never really had people that were really true friends. They always wanted something from me. And if I couldn't give them something, then it was, oh, well, so even though that, like, at one point we were all really close and I kind of drifted away, but then, I would still think about them or whatever. And then I reached out to Danny, and then it's just been touch and go. But, I'm very thankful and I'm grateful to have someone like them in my life, because I know that I could talk to them. I know that I could trust them. And I know that they'll be able to do, whatever they can do to help me along my journey and to help me to become a better person, because that's all they want.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot to me, honestly, because I know you as a person, you're not a naturally trusting person.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to trust somebody, I know you don't take that with a grain of salt, and neither do I. And one of the biggest changes I noticed about you that's the most important for me is, in the beginning, you were negative Nancy. Everything was negative. Things that we even, yeah, no, but I'm saying even right now, you're speaking so much, even on the hard topics, you're speaking positivity. It's not over. I'm going to make it. I'm advocating for other people. I'm advocating for myself. Before, even on smaller things, it was like so negative. So to just see that switch is night and day difference. And I believe if you didn't have that kind of positivity, even your health right now, we're probably not even here talking right now. If you didn't have that different level of positivity and way of looking at things in life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important to me.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about DJ?
About him.
I don't know.
She wants to bring up my son. I have an 18-year-old. He is in the Marines. Yay. Yeah, but he's in Florida. And so that was a big thing for me as well, because I struggled with him. Sometimes being a single mom of a boy can be, because I don't care what anybody says. a boy needs a man in his life. That's my philosophy on it, because there's just certain things that a mother could not teach a man. And there's just certain things that we're going to go through with raising a man or trying to raise a man. I struggled with my son. Whew, I struggled with him, but I prayed. I prayed for that boy. I prayed for that boy. And when he graduated high school, he decided to join the Marines. And right now he's in Florida. So y'all keep him in his thoughts and prayers, because next year he'll be going to Japan for 3 years. I also have a daughter, and she turns 25 tomorrow.
Oh,
Wow. Happy early birthday.
Yep,
And
definitely.
she lives in Virginia, and I have to pray for her too. And I have a granddaughter, and her name is Ari.
She's so cute.
She is beautiful. I don't get to see her much, but I still keep them in thoughts and prayer. And that, I am not going to say for my son and for my daughter, but for my granddaughter, is that I want them to know that, hey, no matter what happens in your life, you have to push forward. You have to push through. You got to keep trying for yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're not good, it doesn't matter, because if you're not good, they're not going to be good. They're going to be worried about you. They're going to be thinking about you. And how can you live if you're always putting everybody else first and you're overlooking just simple things that are going on with your life? This year for me it's been one of revelation for me. It's been one of a revelation. It took a minute, but I got here. But, I'm always saying that, hey, this is going to change, or that's going to change, or I'm going to do this. I'm always saying it. But this year I'm actually putting forth more effort into it, making some plans. I know it's not going to be as easy as before being on dialysis, but I still want to travel. I want to go to Egypt. I want to go to Jordan. And so I've been looking at that, and that's what I'm working on. And that's my focus right now, is to get healthy, hence being back in the gym, actually getting the membership.
Which you did this week.
Yes. So I signed up, and I'm here, and I'm ready to see what I can do. Minus being able to lift weights.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and that's perfectly okay.
Yep. And what was that like? Like, even just taking that leap to say, I'm going to start back. Like, what were some of those thoughts going through your head? Because there's a lot of people in that state. Maybe they were on it, then they fell off, and there's some life situation that says, I'm not coming back. What made you like take that leap to say, I'm starting back now?
It's all about me being on dialysis. Dialysis for most people, dialysis would close them off, but for me, it's opened me up more, and it makes me realize that I can't take another day for granted, because tomorrow's definitely not promised, and I never know what's going to happen. I mean, I've been through car accidents that probably should have killed me too, but and then I've been through other things, but I'm still here. So now it's like me being on dialysis. I need this. I need to be the best version of Yolanda for Yolanda, not for anybody else, but for Yolanda.
I love that.
And that's a lot of times where the biggest transformation comes for a lot of people, is when there's some very hard hitting thing that just puts your back up against the wall and says, I got to.
Well, and honestly, for me, even seeing you now and how you speak and your energy is completely different. I knew, that because of the really hard things that you went through, some of the experiences that you've had this year, it was going to bring out a side that maybe you don't really see the other side in the moment. You feel like, when am I going to get out of this feeling? But I knew that it was going to bring out another side of you. And I love to see it, because sometimes we fail in the moment to understand why things are happening to us, or why they're happening all at one time. And usually that's what happens. One thing happens right after the other, right after the other, right after the other. But I remember when, we were talking in that stage, when your mom was still here and she was going through her different health things. And, just thinking to myself how close you were to your mom and how you were going to be able to, move forward. And I remember telling you, Yolanda, I know how much you love your mom. Just mentally prepare yourself for that moment, if she's not here. But what I love is everything that you've taken and you've turned it into, more power and encouragement. And that's what I love to see, because it's so easy to let life kick you down and just stay down. But you've done the complete opposite. So, very proud.
It really is a prime example of, it's like, in life, it's not about what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about. Because in so many situations, you could have stopped. So many situations, Danny, you could have stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So many situations, I could have stopped. But you have to find a way to still push through anyway. It is for you. And you'd be surprised the people that you don't even know yet that you're going to change their lives because of your experience and what you're going through now.
Mm-hmm.
How could people get in touch with you if they wanted to learn more about dialysis? Maybe it's something they're going through or a family member is going through. How could they get in touch with you?
Well, for the time being, y'all, TikTok is still here.
Okay. TikTok. So what's your name on TikTok?
Positive Influence. It's my name on all social media. Positive Influence.
How you spell that?
POZITIVINFLUENZ.
Is there any other like site or something for like if somebody wants to like to find a match or something?
I am currently on 2 transplant lists. One is Duke University transplant and ECU Health transplant. But if anybody is actually interested in seeing if they can become a donor, if they wanted to share with their loved ones for other people out there, www.nkr.org, which is the National Kidney Registry. You can go up there. You can find out information about becoming a donor. You can find out how you're able to be, how they're able to help you financially if you decide to become a donor. You can find out about being a donor match. Whereas if you know someone that needs a kidney, you're not a match for them, but maybe you're a match for somebody else, that they will make sure that that person is also guaranteed to have a match. So there's a lot of information out there, but the best one I would say is the National Kidney Registry. And just go up there and browse and fill out the application. You never know, and you never know whose life you could change in the process.
And if there's anybody watching this that knows some extra inside information, or you know somebody that can help fast track your process on getting a kidney, reach out to us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're all here together. I guess that's the end of this video, New Birth Fitness family. We'll be back again before you know
it's Francine.
Oh,
Okay.
Francine.
Francine had to make an appearance. This is Francine, and she's a part of my life. So y'all say hey to Francine.
On that note, we'll be back again before you know it.
See you next
Yeah.
time. Okay. That's good.